Hi, I'm Harry Pell.
I'm Karen Pell.
I'm Shane Dozier.
And this is Whiskey the Wonder Dog.
Welcome to Tallow Creek Farm.
You know, we didn't always own land, so you know we were from the city, and my aunt and uncle had a farm, and I used to love to go there, and I would have stayed there all summer if my mother would have let me. And they had dairy cows, and we just roamed the woods, you know. And I always loved a farm, but I never had one, and always wanted one. We were lucky enough to start piecing this place together over the years. So once we got a piece of ground, then we learned how to be a steward. Bought the first 400 acres, my dad, to have a place to hunt, and started with a skidder trail back in here. Started improving the road was the first thing we started to improve, and then making campsites, and then had a need for water, so we started with ponds, and that's when we met the Fish and Game guys. Some Fish and Game guys came out and told us how to ins and outs of digging the pond, and where we could put one, and whether it worked or not, and helped us stock it. And then they said, well, you know, you really ought to get hooked up with the forestry people, you know. So then we got hooked up with the forestry people and did a management plan, and then they said you need to get hooked up with NRCS guys, you know. So one thing leads to another, you know. It's just one little step at a time. I tell people, you know, the programs that are there with the NRCS, if it wasn't for that, you know, it'd be hard for us to keep up. I mean, it's a valuable part of what we do, and there's a lot of good programs there for people, and it's like people don't realize it. You know, they don't know they're there. I tell people all the time, I don't understand why there's not a line out the front door at NRCS to sign up for some of the programs. The trees with the blue dots on them are the ones that the foresters have marked to take out. We're trying to take this mid-story stuff out, and that lets all this young oak that you see that's down here get sunlight to it. So that will give all this oak an 8 or 10 year head start for when the light really hits the forest floor, when we come in here and have a harvest of these trees. So then 80 years later, when this is harvested again, it'll probably be 40% more oak than it would have been left to its own means. This is one of the hidden benefits, I think, of doing the TSI and walking your land. You know, they say the best thing for a tract of land is the tracts of the landowner on it. So, and this is a benefit. This is what TSI does. You learn things about your property that you didn't know. And this, having the forester with us, he spotted that and said, man, look what we've got here, an American chestnut root sprout. So they sprout up off the roots of the old mother tree, which was 40% of the forest at one time. And they were, you know, they were a magnificent tree. Like some of them 16 feet across, and I long for the day when they're back in these woods. It just takes a lot of time, a little something every day, you know. I try to start every morning with some kind of a list of things I'm gonna get done today, and it's a never-ending list, you know. It just changes every morning, and
He does mark stuff off every day, though.
yeah.
But then he adds more.
Yeah,
marks
it's
off.
just every day it's something else to do. This is an autumn olive that is getting out of control, and it'll choke out everything. So it's on the invasive species list, and it's a target tree. We spray it with a basil bark spray about the bottom 18 inches of the tree, and then that kills it. So this trail runs about, it starts at Candy's cabin and heads back this way, runs about 3/4 of a mile. I don't know how many different kinds of trees there are identified, but quite a few. We still need to get some more name tags, and the hope is that we can bring kids out here and let them enjoy a little time in the woods.
It's not just the growing the trees and how to manage the land and how to be responsible. They're learning all those things, but just from how he said he has his list and he has a plan to make every day a little bit better than the last. You know, they're getting all of that on top of how to manage the forest and how to hunt respectfully and responsibly, and so much.
Over my 22-year career with Fish and Wildlife, I've had the privilege of being on hundreds of farms. And after being on all those farms, you can tell the ones that stand out. And Harry and Karen Pell, this Tallow Creek farm that they have here is certainly one that stands out as being an extraordinary place, not only just because of the forest resources and the wildlife resources here, but because of the ownership of the farm.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there just like us that love their place. You know, there's a whole state full of them, a whole country full of them, but a lot of them just somehow, some way aren't aware of what's available. Somehow we got to get that word out. The trees are what's going to make sure it has its ability to stay a farm in the future. So that's what we do. We work on trying to improve the habitat and the type of trees that we have on the farm so that it can be harvested and sustain itself over the years.